Hello, this is Barbara from Rock Hard Italy. First of all, I love you, Joan. Thanks for being here. And thank you. You've been a pioneer of female rock and roll. Is there any woman in rock or in music that you see yourself in now, and that maybe got the lesson that you had well?
Are you talking about somebody that would be famous? Because that, that I can't really speak to unless I'm missing somebody that I'm not aware of. But
she said that people who come after you or the people who came after you?
Yes, people came after me.
Well, there's so many great ones. Like, we know that we had a great relationship with L7, who definitely looked up to Joan. As she mentioned, Kathleen Hanna, who's a genius. I mean, if she wasn't so obsessed with being on an indie, she probably would have been one of the most successful people. As it was, she's had a good career with good songwriting and stuff. And
not to mention
other ones.
But Bikini Kill started their whole thing, the Riot Girl movement, which I think was kind of.
But we've had the good fortune. We first heard that Miley Cyrus was doing a medley of Joan Jett hits. That was like, whoa. But then we met her, and she's terrific, and I think she's going to be around for a while. She's terrific, and I don't know, do you know who Miley Cyrus is? You know, Hannah Montana was a hit, but now she's growing up, so we actually met her on a television show, and she was terrific, and it's great to see somebody who is that successful, who actually auditioned for the Hannah Montana part with one of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts hits, and I thought that was a good one because it was, you know, so.
No, I think it's really cool, and it's also. I was thinking about this, you know. She's so swamped with media and stuff, and how does a kid grow up from being sort of playing, you know, a pretty straight-laced character on TV? How do you grow out? I mean, if that's who you are naturally, then there's not a lot of difficulty. But if you want to go beyond that, and how to do that when you're completely surrounded and you don't have any privacy, and I mean, I'm not saying, oh, woe is Miley, I'm just saying, how do you do it? And so when I got this phone call to possibly get together with Miley and play a couple of songs, we talked, and she told me about how she auditioned, you know, for Hannah Montana to I Love Rock and Roll, and she was really into it. So, you know, I don't want to be judgmental, and I just wanted to go out there and have a good time with someone else who enjoyed playing rock and roll music and singing a couple of our songs. We did Cherry Bomb, we did Bad Reputation, and did Hate Myself for Loving You. And it was really cool to see her out there singing the songs.
Yeah, let's not forget it was the Oprah's, one of the Oprah's last shows too.
So I had to get in there.
Okay, speaking of last, who's got the final question out here?
Hi John, Liv from Sweden Rock TV here. How would you say social media has affected rock music throughout these years? I mean, you have enormous of experience, but what do you say about social media has done to the rock music?
I think it can be a really great thing, because for a struggling band who if you look back to when all of us started out, if we had that sort of capacity to reach a lot of people at once, when you're a struggling band and you're playing to 50 people at the club, and to be able to record something and get it out to a wide audience, I think is really an invaluable tool. Not to mention you can put your music up and people can hear it. It's a lot different than sort of begging to get on the radio, or just trying to think of, maybe get an article written about you in a local rock and roll magazine or something, go on the radio, and the radio is really been removed, I think, from that equation these days, especially in the States. I don't really see them doing sort of interviews with artists where the jock is really part of it, you know? So I think having the internet as a tool works well for bands to get that stuff out. But I don't know if you're asking about other things like Twitter or Facebook.
I mean, social media in general, according to rock music, is any different to pop music? Pop music seems more reliable on the social media. I think at least. Are you agreeing with that?
I don't know. I'm not sure I totally understand what you're saying. You're saying with pop music that they utilize that to a better degree?
No, I mean that the pop music seems to be a little more needing more social media, and rock music is more to spread like a legend.
Right. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's because it seems like a lot of the pop shows these days are very big shows, with a lot going on besides the music. Is what I mean. You know.
I was just talking about like Ashton Kutcher kind of thing, and Lady Gaga, she has a bigger following on Twitter than our president, which is really sad. But the social media also, in a less goofy way than all that kind of thing. Tweeting like I just went to the bathroom, it was great, it's whatever. There are a lot of really cool rock and roll bands. For instance, we have a label, Black Heart Records, because nobody wanted Joan in the beginning, so we started a label. Ended up having hits with Big Daddy Kane and Metal Church, and it's a whole thing that happened. And I forgot what I was going with that, but the fact is, I know I was going to tell you. We now, when we meet bands and we say, they send us links to their pages if it's Facebook or MySpace, and they're able to, like that, they can get it to us, where it doesn't have to come in a big pile. Like years ago, we used to have these big boxes full of records, and to tell you the truth, most of the labels don't really go through them carefully. Look at like somebody who can't even hear listening to, and I think that now when Joe meets somebody, or I meet somebody, or Tommy or Doug, and they say, listen, you listen to us, within a few hours we can have that and listen to it. And that's more of the way these rock bands are communicating to us, and we've actually signed a couple people that way. But as far as like running around the way Justin Timberlake was or whatever, it's a little different, But you feel the rock bands have a little bit of, hopefully a little bit more cool.
Well, that's it. Joan Jett and Company. Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow, yeah?